What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be doing my first impressions of the 16 Pro Max and the regular iPhone 16 Pro. And these are devices that I don't really have that much of an interest in just based off the announcement. But when we get these powered on, maybe my thoughts will change. You know who hasn't changed on this channel? Our sponsor. Nobody. All right, so we always have to give credit where credit is due. And this was made in China. Both of them. Just go ahead and get this opened up here. Here we go. And here we have the Pro Series by Apple. Let's see what my reaction is going to be. Okay. The white is always clean, but this desert color, this is like salmon almost. It's like a beige. I'd say the pictures make it seem more gold than anything. I would say the white titanium is still the best color. Without a doubt. Natural's cool. I think the black is also a new color this year. But for me, it easily goes over to the white titanium. But the desert color, not bad. I'd say definitely not my taste. And I usually like the gold colors that Apple has. This isn't for me. Even the railing, it just looks silver. Yeah. This is definitely a miss for me. The pictures the pictures make this really look like gold. This is not gold. I mean, it's desert. But yeah. Anyway, let's take a quick smell test. Okay. Definitely smells like it came from factory. In the box here, we do have charging cables that are USB-C and they are braided, so that is nice. Do a quick peel. Look at that. I don't even need to pick up the phone. So one thing that I was really surprised on is Apple talking about how thin the bezels are. And granted, the bezels are pretty thin on iPhones. So I'm interested to see how thin it actually is. Okay. 16 Pro Max, do you want to give your turn? Okay. It's definitely thinner. Jesus, it is thinner. But would I say it's like substantial from the previous generation? In a way, yeah, but Apple, I will give it to you that these are the thinnest bezels that we've ever seen on an iPhone. And probably the reason why I'm not going crazy is because, I've used Android in the past and Android screens kind of peel off to the side or, go off to the side. So it's really not that crazy for me. So for some people who have never experienced this thinness of a bezel, it's pretty impressive. So while I'm signing into my iCloud account, if this is your first time looking at an iPhone 16 Pro model and you're upgrading from a previous generation, also it's kind of cool how the ring lights kind of almost like glow in the light there. You guys see that? Ooh, that's like it's subtle. I like that. I wonder, can it do it on the regular one? So if you're on an older generation iPhone and you haven't been keeping up lately, there are some new things that you might not be aware of. So the traditional switch that you typically have on your device is now switched with an action button. So if I were to just hold it down, it will actually switch from the ringer to silent. So that's what you are typically used to. And it does have haptic feedback and it does feel exactly as if you were switching it on and off. We have a new button here. This is new for pretty much every iPhone at this point. And if you were to click it, it will open up the camera app automatically. There's also these photographic styles that I'll get into in a second. I'll set that up later. My recommendation whenever you want to take photos is switch this to 16:9. All right, so let me walk you through some of the things that have changed. So I'll get into the camera control in a second, but let's talk more about the overall lenses. So this does have the Fusion camera as well, but it has a bit more than that. So let me just go ahead and bring out, let me just see if I can plop link here just so you guys can see. First up is the ultra wide, and if you want to get some really nice macro shots, you can just get super close there, as you can see. It does have the 1x, but if you are not familiar with this, you actually have 3 different lengths. So if you click on 1x again, it zooms in a bit more. Click it again, zooms in a bit more. So do keep that in mind. You have the 2x zoom, kind of utilizing in between, and then you have your dedicated telephoto lens. And let me actually turn this off. And it's a bit grainy. I don't think it's because it's a real person here, but you can see here, we have pretty good clarity on what we want for our subject. So really happy that we have this on the non-max device. Yes, I know the message failed. All right, so let's just go ahead and, just take a couple shots and see how this camera looks. All right, so looking at the photos here, this is the first ultra-wide shot I took. And if you haven't seen my 16 unboxing and first impressions, you can see it there in the corner. I gave that camera a lot of praise, but I forgot what the Pro models can do, and this is really good. This is really good. This is just the Ultra. The ultra-wide. This is the one-time zoom, so very typical. Has a bit of a white cast. Not the biggest fan of it, but in terms of the colors and whatnot, not too shabby. And then this is the 2 times, so I'd say this actually looks much better than the 1 times in terms of clarity, colors, things like that. It has a nice blur background. And then this is the 5 times. Not the greatest. I'd say you're really using the 5 times zoom if you're like at a concert or something, or if you don't have the best seats and you want to zoom in a little bit. But yeah, you do get some detail on his arm here. But I'm really zooming in there at that point. But for 5 times, I'd say it's not that bad. Definitely want to get some distance between you and your subject. I'm sitting over here, so it's not going to be that great. Yeah, just want to take a quick selfie as well to see how the camera is. Took a second for it to process, but in typical Apple fashion, this is the front-facing camera. Never dissatisfied with the iPhone camera. Would I say it's better than what the Android competition has? No, but it's really the camera where Apple starts to excel. So this is the front-facing quality on the 16 Pro. So you guys let me know how it looks and sounds. It's an iPhone. It's going to be one of the best, and I'm actually recording this video on an iPhone. So if you guys can tell a difference between the two, let me know. But Apple doesn't miss when it comes to the video. So now I'm testing the back camera on the 16 Pro. You guys let me know how it looks and sounds. Don't think I can control how the video looks in terms of the zoom and stuff, so you're just going to have to take it with the current camera lens that I'm using. Moving the device up and down so you guys tell me how the stabilization is. But yeah, it's a video camera by iPhone. The back camera is usually really good, so you guys let me know how much better it is. Good job, Apple. So the other nice thing about the camera this time around is that we can actually go up to 120. This is what Apple calls super slow-mo or something like that. I'll have it somewhere on the screen, but I can actually record in 4K here, 4K 60. Oh my God, this quality looks insane. I'm just gonna put my hand behind there and take it away. And if I were to go back, look at this. I can actually change how fast this is in the production. So I can do there's so much you can do. All right, so first things first, you can play it at 100 times and it will show you that. But you can go down to 24, so if you want like that dreamy effect that they call. Watch my hand come in a more slow way. I would probably fix the audio if I were to do that. This is the 30 FPS. If I were to replay it. A little bit smoother. All right, the sound is creeping me out, so I'm just going to turn that off. And if I wanted to drop down to 60 instead of the 120, if I want to do more of a, like a regular 60 FPS video, it's that. And then I can just go back to 100%. So that's the other nice thing that we have on the qualities of life improvements on the camera aspect and photos that you can do on the iPhone. There's also something called audio mix. This is going to be pretty hard to demonstrate in this video. I'll probably have a full deep dive on the capabilities that you can do on the iPhone now. But they have standard, which is, the standard audio that comes in for the overall video. You have in frame, so this is really capturing audio that's just within the frame of the video. So outside noise and stuff like that are going to be suppressed. Studio is more of a studio-like, audio mixing. You also have the scroller here that kind of dictates how much of the mix you want to do. And the cinematic is bringing the vocals more to the front, I think similar to the studio, but more of like a movie-esque type of audio mix. So it's nice that we have all these capabilities here within the video department now. Do keep in mind, this is something that they didn't mention as well. There are studio quality microphones in the Pro Series by Apple now. So you're going to get really nice microphones this time around. Hopefully you guys noticed that in the video recording that I did earlier for the test. Overall, in terms of the camera department, this is the Pro Series by Apple. And when it comes to the camera department, they don't hold back any punches, especially in the video department. And it just seems like Apple's kind of doubling down on that front, you know, doing the 4K 120, the audio mixing, as well as the photographic styles, being able to color grade live before you take the photos and the videos that you do, the different focal lengths. This is like, this is becoming like a real camera in your pocket at this point. But yeah, let me talk about the build quality real quick. So this is titanium, don't forget, mixed with stainless steel, and does have a lighter feel than the previous generation iPhones that were all stainless steel. We still have that square cutout with those 3 lenses on the top left, LiDAR, flash. Even though the phone is pretty rectangular, the sides are rounded off, so it's not actually digging into your hand that much compared to previous generations. This is the iPhone 13 Pro. This has more sharper corners and overall has, ooh, you can definitely tell the bezels now. But yeah, 3 years ago, still a pretty solid device with ProMotion. But yeah, definitely the corners are more sharper on the previous generations with this new titanium build that they have. Definitely a lot softer, and also the 16 Pro Max is not as wide as the previous generations. But yeah, let's just go ahead and, can I do face unlock, please? Thank you. Let's go ahead and walk through a city in 4K. Very, very impressive. So let me go ahead and just crank up the brightness for you guys and take a seat and enjoy. That is spectacular. Wow, this is such a good display, man. That is nice. Very nice. Look at the amount of colors. Ooh, this is amazing. I really can't tell a difference between the two in terms of the color, but I will say that on the Max, it's more immersive. No questions asked. I'm not a big phone person, but if you're a person who intends to watch media a lot, go for the Pro Max. It's worth it. Easily. Like, wow. That is really good. I know I keep pulling these up back and forth, but I'm really just trying to see a difference here. And I don't know. It seems like I think it's just a bigger display overall on the 16 Pro Max. It's just having my brain and eye see. It just feels more immersive compared to this bottom one here. And yeah, media consumption, without a doubt, go for the 16 Pro Max. Last year, the Pixel 8. These aren't the flagship Pro phones by Google, but they are still flagship, especially at the Pixel 9 price. You know what else isn't flagship on this channel? Our sponsor, nobody. We have places to be, things to do, and one answer of which one you should get. I would say the Pixel 8 if you can grab it used for a pretty good price. However, if you can get the Pixel 9 for around that same price or get a decent trade-in value for your trade-in offer, I would say go with the Pixel 9. But if you want to stay to get a detailed comparison, I appreciate the watch time. Just make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, usually I talk about build quality, cameras, and stuff like that first, but I first want to talk about software, and I have a future video on how I feel about Android delivering software across all their devices. But the first change I want to talk about is the weather app. Yes, the weather app. In terms of the speakers, the 16 Pro Max are louder. I don't want to say it sounds more full, it's just louder. But the 16 Pro, I'm not dissatisfied by any means, but going back to my display impressions, if you intend to watch a lot of media on your iPhone, or if you consume a lot of media on your iPhone, the 16 Pro Max is going to be the way to go, without a doubt. But both speakers sound really good, really balanced. It's just the 16 Pro Max is louder. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for my first impressions. Kinda not over the moon with this 16 Pro Max and the 16 Pro series overall compared to the 15. I think the 15 had a pretty good precedent update compared to the previous generation of the 14, so on and so forth. This just seems like a mid-cycle update from the 15 series. One thing I forgot to highlight real quick was actually the camera control button while I was in the camera app the entire time. So if you actually put some pressure there, it actually brings up this menu and you can actually zoom in, zoom out. So that's pretty nice. And then if you are in video, you can actually do some more controls as well. So you can actually zoom in just like so while taking the video, which is actually, I'd say, much better than trying to, control the scroll wheel on the display. So that is the camera control. And if you want to start the video, just click it just like that. And if you want to stop it, click it again. And if you are on the photo mode, you can just tap it real quick if you want to take a quick photo, and then you can apply a lot more pressure and take a full video, excuse me, just by holding it down. And as soon as you let go, stops the video. So that's the camera control. I think I should probably do a more in-depth video on that, but it's nice to see that Apple's adding in more functionality to a button that is pretty dedicated to the camera. So they're really trying to focus in on this being more of a camera pro device than it is being just an overall pro device. Don't think I can showcase anything with Apple Intelligence yet because it's not available. I think we still have the regular Siri. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, gotta say overall, I'm not over the moon. Pretty much just a cycle refresh from the 15 series, which was a refresh of the 14 series. But the 14 was a great phone when it was announced, and I just think they've been making improvements since then. And I say this in every single Apple video, but this is the best iPhone Apple's ever made. Don't think they would put a device that's worse than the previous generation. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. Give me the 16. I want the 16 back. This is the better phone. I'm joking. Don't get offended if you bought the Pro Max. What's going on, guys? So in this video,